Let's stay with the conversation around illegal mining in the northwest. Bring in the MEC for Community Safety and Transport Management in the province, Wessels Mooroeng. Good to have you on the program this evening, sir. So the issue, it appears, just keeps getting worse, right? We've all just been talking about Bapong, and today we saw more illegal mining operations in the Kroondal area.
I think what we need to appreciate is the effort that the government is making. The minister was here, the premier was here, the national commissioner was here. The messaging was very clear. The police needs to do their work. So far, the strategy is very simple. Let's confiscate the machines of these thugs so that we can be able to investigate further. Who do they belong to? In that way, we will be able to arrest the level 4s in terms of our pyramid. Because the problem here is when you arrest those at the lower levels, you are not addressing the problem holistically. We need to nip the problem in the bud, close the market so that we establish where these products are being taken to, so that the issue of the illegal mining in our province, we can be able to deal with it once and for all. But let's appreciate the police. Even today, Dr. General Naidu led the operation that saw 20 machines being confiscated, and then the Zamazamas fled on the scene and ran to the bushes. Be that as it may be, investigations are continuing. All the units have descended in the province to cap the matter and close the matter once and for all.
But that's the very problem, MEC, whenever we speak about illegal mining, be it in the northwest, be it in any other part of the country, we see the clampdown on the illegal miners. They're either arrested or they run away, but no one ever seems to come back with answers about who the kingpins are. Why are you confident that this time around in the northwest, those answers will actually be brought forward?
You would recall that these machines that we are confiscating, they don't come cheap. They are worth millions. So in that process, it will be very easy for us to can be able to understand who owns this machine. Because those who owns these machines, it is our belief that they are at the helm of the market. Those are the level 4s that I'm referring to. In that way, we will be able to identify who are the enablers of this process. Because the machines that we have confiscated, like I'm indicating to, they are worth millions. So this time around, that is the strategy that we are implying as opposed to what we implied last year in the area of Klexdorp. That's what gives us confidence that this time around we will be able to arrest those at the top of the pyramid. That's what I can say with regards to what gives us confidence that we'll be able to get those.
You found similar machinery in Bapong almost 2 weeks ago. Have you been able to use that to lead you to the people who are controlling these operations? Do you know who was running that operation 2 weeks later?
Remember, investigations are underway. I also must not jeopardize the investigation. But what I need to tell the public is that we are attending the matter. For the fact that we have confiscated them, it means the relevant teams are trying to establish who are the owners of these machines are. We are not going to release them anytime soon up until we have managed to effect the arrest, and importantly, effect the arrest of those who we think that they are enablers to this process. Arrests have been made, like I indicated last week. We have managed to arrest 21 people. Each and every person is important in this process, including community intelligence. That's why we're calling also on the community to assist us in this process. The Premier and the Minister met with the community on the consultation process. That consultation process was very important. There's a significant information that I think will assist the investigation that the community have shared with us. In some instance, they did share with us that there's a possibility of legal miners around the area being involved in the process. That's a very important information that I'm talking to, which speaks to community intelligence, that all our units will be able to utilize for us to can be able to claim this matter holistically so that we deal with it once and for all.
But do you have credible clues, leads on the owners of this equipment, of these operations, people who are running what is basically an illegal mining operation? Because yes, you mentioned, for example, that these are expensive bits of machinery, equipment, etc., and you're hoping that will lead you to the kingpins. How will that become possible?
It is not easy as it appears on the surface, because we are dealing with thugs, and this is an organized crime of some crooks who've sat down and planned their operations very well. So we really need to be clinical in our approach so that we don't appear clumsy, so that we don't have cases that can be watertight and stand prosecution. That's why we don't want to commit any clumsy mistake in the process. You would recall that in some instances, you'll find an owner of the machine indicating that he or she didn't know that his machine was going to be utilized in an illegal operation. operation. He was under the pretense that his machine was going to be used somewhere in a legal project, something like that. So we really need to get to the bottom of this thing. That can be true, that cannot be true. That is why I'm saying to you, law does not operate with hearsay. It operates with a scientific, tangible evidence. So the investigation are underway. We want to, when we are to conclude the matter and present to prosecution that we are ready with the evidence, we will not appear clumsy. We will be able to convince prosecution beyond reasonable doubt and the public that we have managed to clamp down on the people that we have always wanted. So it's not as easy as it appears. You'll get the machine. The machine is under Morueng. Then Morueng will be able to come to the fore and say, I was misled by who and who. I didn't know that my machine is going to Bapong to perform illegal operation. I was told that my machine is going to Mafikeng on a legal road project or something like this. So those are the stories that requires expertise, and we've got confidence in all our teams that have descended on the site that they will be able to get to the bottom of the matter because they possess the necessary training that can lead us to the answers we require as government.
And that was precisely my point, MEC, about the issue around these excavators being able to lead you to the kingpins, because for all we know, as you were yourself just saying, this could be leased equipment. They could also have used false identities, for example, to get their hands on this machinery. But let's put that issue to the side. The extent of illegal mining that we've seen in the Northwest is not the sort of thing that happens overnight, right? In Bapong, we've heard of people being paid, for example, for their properties to be dug up looking for chrome. Why is it that these operations aren't shut down in the first week, for example? Because some of these guys are committing a crime for months without intervention.
Look, I don't think we need to be aloof and delusional to the reality. In some instances, including the consultative meeting that the Premier and the Minister embarked on with the community of Bapong and various communities of the Northwest that I also led as the MEC responsible for safety in my imbizos. The community did not mince their weight in some instances that there is a police involvement. So I also want as leaders not to be delusional to the reality or live in somewhere else where these communities are not living. We live in these communities. We are part of these communities. We are members of these communities, also ourselves as leaders. So we can't rule out that fact, which in some instances provides delay in as far as this matter being attended. Because I'll make you a practical example in the area of Bapong. Community indicated and even implicated some of the police officers that they've raised with this matter with them when this operation started somewhere around July. If that could have been attended at the time, the situation could have been avoided. It could have not been the way it is at the moment. So that is a matter that we've got the relevant directorates that are going to look into. Like I'm saying, we'll deal with the matter holistically. If there's an involvement of the police, that will be dealt with decisively so that we can be able to deal with the trust deficit between ourselves, the police, and the people.
Good to talk to you. Northwest MEC for Community Safety and Transport Management, Vessels Morueng. Thank you for your time, sir.